untitled.com. In this video, I'm going to do a review on the Lil Mynx Rotator dance pole. Now, as I go through this review, I will be comparing it to other dance poles that you can put in your home, both brand name and no brand name. If you've never heard of them before, I will put the links to all the poles I'm talking about and referencing to below this video so that you can do your own research and kind of decide what kind of a dance pole works best for you, because after all, that's the point of watching reviews, right? So to get started, this right here is the Lil Mynx Rotator. Now I've already got it unpackaged and unboxed because I've had it up and I've been using it in my house and I threw the box away. So it's not an unboxing, it's more or less a review of how it works, puts together, and my experience using it over the past few weeks. So when you get the pole, it will come obviously in one big link like this. You get the pieces here. And it comes with the instructions and then a little kit. In this kit, you're going to get the ceiling mount, of course. You're going to get the drill bit, all the hardware you need, and the tools you need to install this pole. The only thing that you don't get sent, obviously, is the power tool to put the drill bit in. Now, that is one advantage of the Lil Mynx over all the other brands of poles, over X-Pole, Loop It, and even the no-ram poles, is that this comes with the screws that you need to mount things when they're required. The other brands make you go to the hardware store and get them on your own for the most part. Lil Mynx actually has everything in here. They even gave you the drill bit, which is nice. Usually when you need to drill a hole in the ceiling to mount something, they do, the other poles will just make you go get your own drill bit and your own tools. So that was a very big plus about the Lil Mynx. I liked it. It made the install much easier. Instructions are straightforward and simple in their little pamphlet here. And other than those two pieces, this is the pole that comes in. Now it does come in one big piece, and that is a hinging difference also between the Lil Mynx and the other brands, is most of the other portable dance poles or removable dance poles for your home come in different pieces that either screw together. The X joint, the X pole brand is held together by X joints, the pieces that slide together, and then you use a hex key to tighten it. Here's an example of one. The Loop It it's again pieces that slide together. Here's an example of the X pole, where you can see right here, it's pieces that slide together, and then there's two holes here where you tighten it with hex keys. Loop It just slides together and there are no holes, but there is an obvious visual line where you can see a line where the joint is in these poles. Now, the advantage of a pole that breaks down into smaller pieces is that it makes it a lot more portable. So if you want to take it somewhere, it's easier to move all of the various pieces when they break down small and fit them into something like a car or whatever. The Lil Mynx is all one piece, so it will not break down into the smaller pieces. The advantage of the longer piece is that there are no visual holes and no visual seams where a joint is. It's all one beautiful finish. A lot of times with the other brands, you can get like a bunch of holes up the side of the pole. Now, it doesn't affect the dancing at all when you dance on a pole with holes in it. It just, it's something that you visually see. And with this, it's just one big, beautiful, long piece. Now, this particular pole is a black powder-coated pole. This particular pole does come in a different color pink. It also comes in, stainless steel, polished stainless steel. It looks like chrome. So you do have some finish types that you can get, and then also two sizes, 45mm and 50mm dance pole sizes. So you have a little bit of flex and variation, which is always nice because you don't always get that with, your dance pole brands. So to start at the top, the first thing that you want to do when you get your Lil Mynx pole, obviously, is to put the ceiling mount up. Now, I'm in vaulted ceiling, so I use the vaulted ceiling mount option with this. This right here is going to come with a flat ceiling mount. You have to buy the vaulted ceiling mount extra. Now, mine's already up there, and you can see it's very tiny right here, and it's just a silver piece on the ceiling. Right next to it, right here, you're going to see the Loop It mount. And as you can tell, it's a lot bigger, and the X-Pole mount's a lot bigger too. And that was the nice thing about the Lil Mynx, is that it's so tiny that when I have to leave the mount up on my ceiling, to switch dance poles because I want to dance with a different, pole for whatever reason, when the mount's staying up there, it's not a huge visual eyesore. Whereas if you look at the Loop It one, I don't mind it hanging up there, but some people might, and it is more of a visual distraction. The vaulted ceiling mounts, you know, it's about maybe 2 inches in diameter, so it's not very big, and it fits right over the top. Now, it's screwed into the joist with 2 bolts, which they do provide for you, and they're pretty heavy-duty bolts that screw into the joist, and so that was nice. And that is also an advantage over the other brands, because the other brands, their mounts are a lot bigger, and you still always need to hit a ceiling joist, and they're just a bit harder to mount, because there's extra plating and wider mounts to put on the ceiling, as you can see with the loop. And I won't get too much into that. It's just that the vaulted ceiling mount for the Lil Mynx was actually a lot easier to hit the joist because it was smaller. There was a lot less involved. For here, once you get your mount on the ceiling and screwed in tight, it is adjustable. So the next thing you do is you measure your ceiling to floor, and then you adjust it at the top. Now, the biggest thing about this pole, which is very, very different than the others, is that this pole needs to be adjusted while it is laying horizontal, like you see me right now. You cannot adjust it while it is vertical. Now, with all the other dance poles that you can buy, all of them, Loop It, X Pole, my Pro Quality No Brand pole, all of them, you can adjust the height of the pole and tighten it while the pole is standing straight up and down in a vertical position. You cannot do that to the Lil Mynx, or you'll damage the pole. It's made differently. So this one, you have to kind of know your ceiling height, and you want to adjust the rod by turning it, either clockwise or counterclockwise, to make it go in and out, so that it's actually a little bit taller than your ceiling height. Now, I'll explain why that is in a minute, okay? Once you get all of this adjusted out, and again, all this is in your instructions, it's really easy to follow. Once you get all of that done, then the next piece is super, super easy, is to go ahead and put the end of the pole into the mount on the ceiling. And this is the same if you have a flat ceiling too. So you just set it up in there. You want to pull up on the pole to depress the adjuster rod at the top. So I'm just pulling up on it until I get it in a vertical position. Now, ideally, you want to use a level on 2 different sides to be sure this is standing exactly straight up and down. But I am going to eyeball it on 4 corners of my house, just for sake of making this easy. Okay? All right. All right. And as you can tell, it's a little bit of adjustment. You pull up on it and move it every time. Okay. A level is a lot easier to use. I just didn't get one out for this video. Okay. Okay, here we go. Looking a lot better. So I'm just finding like a straight seam in the door or the corner. It's a way to kind of cheat that, and you're just kind of looking to be sure that the pole is somewhat lined up. Now, you don't ever, when you adjust this pole, the biggest thing to remember is to always pull up on it to move the base. You don't ever want to just pull on it like this to drag the base. The reason is because the Lil Mynx, unique again, has 4 standing rubber feet on it that protect the floor from any damage. It was designed for carpet. If you do put it on hardwood floor or tile, you do need to buy the extra non-skid pad that comes with it so it can go on a flat surface. But the reason is that you don't ever want to pull on it to move the base, because A, it's really stuck in place once you get it there. And if you were to try and force it, you would probably break the little feet off on the bottom. So it's really important to pull up when you adjust the bottom. Okay? It looks to be in about a pretty straight place for the most part. Okay? I think there are some very fine adjustments. As you can tell, it's not too hard to move around. If you wanted to be a perfectionist about it, it's not incredibly difficult to kind of get this in place. It's just would have been a lot easier with a little torpedo level. Okay. Double checking, because I'm going to get on this pole, so I Do want to ensure that it's vertical and that it's safe. Okay, looks good. All right. So now that it's up there, as you can tell, it's super easy to install when it's up there. You can pull on it and it's very sturdy. Now, because there are no joints in this, there's very little flex, and when you pull on these, most pulls have a little bit of flex. The Lil Mynx is actually a bit more sturdy because there are no joints in it to give it that added flex. So that's kind of nice if you like that feature. This is a spinning and a static pull. So once it's up, I already have it in spinning mode currently, but you can put it in static. There is a little notch in the base, a button, and the coolest part about this is that it is the easiest pull to put into spinning and static at the making of this video. If you want it in spinning mode, you just press the button down and obviously the pull spins. If you want it locked in static, you just align the notch, pull up the button, and then it becomes a static or non-spinning pull. So that's really easy. All the other brands on the market till the date of the making of this video, you have to go and find a hex key and then unscrew little screws or tighten them in the base to make it spinning and static. And it's not incredibly hard to do that. It's just nice to not need to go find any tools to change your pull from spinning to static. So that's an advantage of the Lil Mynx Rotator. The bearings in this are good. The pull does spin freely. Out of the box, the Pro Quality and the Expert and the Loop It do have more smoother spinning bearing action out of the box. When you spin this one, it spins freely, but it has a bit of a rubbing noise to it, which is normal and does go away over time as the parts pick up the grease on the inside. And so it's not that just because the others have a better, smoother bearing action doesn't mean this one is bad. I'm by no way not pleased with it. It's a good pull. It's just that the others had a bit better spinning action. Okay, so as you can tell, you get on the pull, it spins very nicely, and it's safe to invert onto as well, as long as you're under 250 pounds. The weight limit on this pull is 250 pounds, so and that is quite a bit lower than the other brands. The other brands are usually right about 350 plus. So the Lil Mynx is a little bit lower for that reason. The last piece is you don't get a true, like this is a 9 to 10 foot pole height. You don't really get a true 10 foot out of it because you can't pull on the adjuster part up top. Meaning if I was to climb up the pole, you can't grab a hold of this and pull down on it or use it to pull your body weight up. Because if you do, you could detach the pole from the ceiling, and that's a bit of a hazard to be aware of when you're up there. But when I'm dancing on it, I've been dancing on it and doing some pole spins and inverts over the last few weeks, I haven't had the desire to put my hands on it and pull on it up that high anyways. So it really wasn't a problem for me, it's just something to be aware of. Other than that, that completes my review for the Lil Mynx pole. I hope that this helps you out a lot. If you're interested in purchasing this pole, I do sell it on my website along with the free online beginner pole dancing lessons that you get with your purchase. So that is there, and again, those links to the other brands and other dance pole reviews are posted below the video for your reference, and have a great day.